From the birth of a nation to the challenges of the modern world, each U.S. president has left a lasting mark on history. Over more than 2 centuries, their leadership, vision, and decisions have shaped America's story. This is the evolution of the presidents of the United States, from the very beginning to today. George Washington, 1789 to 1797. Washington is considered the first U.S. president because he was unanimously elected after leading the nation to independence in the Revolutionary War. Serving from 1789 to 1797, he defined the presidency from scratch, setting traditions like the 2-term limit and the peaceful transfer of power. John Adams, 1797 to 1801. A founding father and key voice for independence. Adams served as president from 1797 to 1801. He helped draft the Declaration of Independence and became the first president to live in the White House. Thomas Jefferson, 1801 to 1809. Jefferson, president from 1801 to 1809, was the author of the Declaration of Independence. He doubled the nation's size through the Louisiana Purchase and later founded the University of Virginia. James Madison, 1809 to 1817. Known as the father of the Constitution, Madison served from 1809 to 1817. His presidency is remembered for guiding the nation through the War of 1812. James Monroe, 1817 a 1825. Monroe's presidency, from 1817 to 1825, is defined by the Monroe Doctrine, which warned European powers to stay out of the Americas. His time is often called the era of good feelings. John Quincy Adams, 1825 to 1829. Serving from 1825 to 1829, John Quincy Adams was the first president whose father had also been president. After leaving office, he spent 17 years in Congress fighting slavery. Andrew Jackson, 1829 to 1837. Jackson, president from 1829 to 1837, was a war hero and champion of the common man. His legacy remains controversial for expanding democracy while enforcing the forced removal of Native Americans. Martin Van Buren, 1837 a 1841. Van Buren served from 1837 to 1841. A skilled politician and founder of the Democratic Party, his presidency was dominated by the Panic of 1837, a devastating economic crisis. William Henry Harrison, 8. Harrison's presidency in 1841 lasted only 31 days, the shortest in U.S. history. He died after delivering the longest inaugural address, shocking the young nation. John Tyler, 1841 to 1845. Tyler served from 1841 to 1845 and became the first vice president to assume the presidency after a death in office. His independence led most of his cabinet to resign. James K. Polk, 1845 to 1849. President from 1845 to 1849, Polk expanded U.S. territory dramatically through Manifest Destiny, adding Texas, Oregon, and much of the Southwestall in a single term. Zachary Taylor, 1849 to 1850. Taylor, a hero of the Mexican-American War, served from 1849 until his death in 1850. His presidency was cut short after just 16 months. Millard Fillmore, 1850 a 1853. Fillmore took office from 1850 to 1853, after Taylor's death. He signed the Compromise of 1850, temporarily easing tensions over slavery. Franklin Pierce, 1853 to 1857. Serving from 1853 to 1857, Pierce supported the Kansas-Nebraska Act, a decision that deepened divisions and pushed the nation closer to civil war. James Buchanan, 1857 to 1861. Buchanan served from 1857 to 1861 and is often ranked among the weakest presidents. He failed to stop Southern states from seceding. Abraham Lincoln, 1861 to 1865. Lincoln, president from 1861 to 1865, led the Union through the Civil War. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation and preserved the nation before being assassinated. Andrew Johnson, 1865 to 1869. Johnson served from 1865 to 1869 and clashed fiercely with Congress during Reconstruction. He became the first U.S. president to be impeached. Ulysses S. Grant, 1869 to 1877. Grant, president from 1869 to 1877, fought to protect civil rights during Reconstruction. though corruption scandals damaged his administration. Rutherford B. Hayes, 1877 to 1881. Hayes served from 1877 to 1881, ending Reconstruction by withdrawing federal troops from the South. James A. Garfield, 1881. Garfield's presidency in 1881 lasted only a few months before his assassination, leading to major civil service reforms. Chester A. Arthur, 1881 to 1885. Arthur served from 1881 to 1885, and surprised many by supporting civil service reform through the Pendleton Act. Grover Cleveland, 1885 a 1889, 1893 a 1897. Cleveland served to non-consecutive terms, making him both the 22nd and 24th president. He was known for fighting corruption. Benjamin Harrison, 1889 to 1893. Serving from 1889 to 1893, Harrison signed the Sherman Antitrust Act and welcomed 6 new states into the Union. William McKinley, 1897 to 1901. McKinley served from 1897 until his assassination in 1901. He led the U.S. to victory in the Spanish-American War. Theodore Roosevelt, 1901 to 1909. Roosevelt, president from 1901 to 1909, was a trustbuster, conservationist, and builder of the Panama Canal. William Howard Taft, 1909 to 1913. Taft served from 1909 to 1913 and remains the only person to be both President and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Woodrow Wilson, 1913 a 1921. Wilson led the nation through World War I and supported the League of Nations. During his presidency, women gained the right to vote. Warren G. Harding, 1921-1923. Harding served from 1921 to 1923. His term was plagued by scandals, and he died suddenly in office. Calvin Coolidge, 1923 to 1929. Coolidge, president from 1923 to 1929, oversaw the Roaring Twenties and believed in limited government. Herbert Hoover, 1929 a 1933. Hoover served from 1929 to 1933. His presidency was defined by the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945. FDR led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. Serving from 1933 to 1945, he remains the only president elected 4 times. Harry S. Truman, 1945 to 1953. Truman served from 1945 to 1953, authorized the atomic bomb, launched the Marshall Plan, and led the nation into the Korean War. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 1953 to 1961. Eisenhower, president from 1953 to 1961, built the interstate highway system and enforced school desegregation. John F. Kennedy, 1961-1963. Kennedy inspired a generation during his presidency from 1961 to 1963 before his assassination. Lyndon B. Johnson, 1963 a 1969. Johnson served from 1963 to 1969, passing landmark civil rights laws, though the Vietnam War overshadowed his term. Richard Nixon, 1969 to 1974. Nixon served from 1969 to 1974, opening relations with China before resigning due to Watergate. Gerald Ford, 1974 to 1977. Ford served from 1974 to 1977, pardoning Nixon and guiding the nation after Watergate. Jimmy Carter, 1977 a 1981. Carter served from 1977 to 1981 and focused on human rights and diplomacy. Ronald Reagan, 1981 to 1989. Reagan served from 1981 to 1989, promoting Reaganomics and challenging the Soviet Union. George H.W. Bush, 1989 to 1993. Bush served from 1989 to 1993, leading the Gulf War and overseeing the end of the Cold War. Bill Clinton, 1993 to 2001. Clinton served from 1993 to 2001, overseeing economic growth but facing impeachment. George W. Bush, 2001 to 2009. Bush served from 2001 to 2009, leading America through 9/11s and wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Barack Obama, 2009 to 2017. Obama served from 2009 to 2017, passing the Affordable Care Act and becoming the first African-American president. Donald Trump, 201-720-21. Trump served from 2017 to 2021, promoting an America First agenda and being impeached twice. Joe Biden, 202-120-25. Biden served from 2021 to 2025, guiding the nation through COVID-19 recovery and major reforms. Donald Trump, 2025, president. In 2025, Donald Trump became only the second U.S. president to win non-consecutive terms, launching a renewed America First agenda that completes the evolution of every U.S. president from beginning until now. Which leader do you think made the biggest impact on history?